Hello everyone, this is Priya. From today, we are going to start our Laxmikant series. The first chapter is going to be Making of the Constitution. So, I would like to suggest you one thing. Before going to through this chapter of the Lakshmikant, you must go through the chapter 1 of Indian Constitution at work. Okay, let's start this. So, what is a constitution? It is a rule book, the fundamental set of principles. Okay, in chapter we are going to study that how the idea of constitution came into India, then who make the constitution, it is constituent assembly, how the idea of constituent assembly came to India, then what word is composition, that how many members are from who make the constitution for India. Okay, then again how they work to perform the work to develop a constitution, then the function performed by them, the committees like major eight committees, minor committees, how they help in framing of constitution, how we enacted the constitution, and how we enforce the constitution. Okay, these are the major topics. So under making of constitution, we have these subtopics. Always try, if you are reading, always try to read in the way that topic, then it's a topic major, then it's subtopics. Okay, then what is going to be in under this topic, like facts, the concepts. Okay, so let's start. First, we have demand for a constituent assembly. How a idea of constituent assembly came. The first, the idea was put forward by M.N. Roy in 1934. Okay, then in 1935, INC also demanded it. In 1938, Jawaharlal Nehru declared that the constitution that is framed should be not based on any interference, that without any outside interference. Okay, here he put forward idea of sovereign constitution. Okay, and this was further endorsed by INC resolution in 1939. So here we came to know how the idea came and who demanded for it. Okay, then again the British government accepted it through August offer of 1940. Okay, and they gave a draft proposal by Cripps mission, but the Cripps proposal was rejected by Muslim League because they wanted a separate constituent assembly and separate constitution for a separate nation, that is Pakistan. Okay, then we came to composition of the constituent assembly. In 1946, they sent cabinet mission plan that is accepted by both Muslim League and Indian National Congress. So, the recommendation of cabinet mission plan, we we are going to make constitution by constituent assembly. So, what is constituent assembly? It is a group of people who are assigned task to form a constitution for India. Okay, the constituent assembly, the strength of constituent assembly was 389. Out of 389, 396 seats are allotted on British Indian provinces, that is directly ruled by British. Like in India, there are some part which are ruled by British, some are princely states, and some are chief commissioner provinces. So there are four chief commissioner state out of 296, and 292 provinces, and from princely state there are going to be 93 seats. Okay, then the seats, like if it is a province, then seats are going to be allotted and based on respective population. That is, for every 1 million people there are going to be one seat. If the population of this constituency is 100 million, there are going to be 100 seats, one seat per million. Okay, then again the 100 seats of this province are divided among the three major communities, that is general, Muslim, and Sikhs. Okay, general is going to include Buddhist, Chinese. Okay, so in province, these seats are going to be divided among these three communities on basis of their respective population. Okay, and the members of the communities are not going to be directly elected. The members of the communities in provincial legislative council are going to be elect the member on their behalf, and not by the first past the post system, but by single transferable vote system of proportional representation. Okay, and the provincial state will nominate their members. Okay, so constituent assembly is partially elected, that is indirectly elected by the provincial legislative assembly, and partially nominated by princely states. Okay, the election of the constituent assembly for 9296 seats were held between July to August 1946, in which the INC won 208 seats and Muslim League won 93 seats. Okay, but the princely state did not recommended or nominated their members. One of the important feature of the constituent assembly that is going to be its merit, that though it is not directly elected by universal adult franchise, but it give representations to every section of Indian society. Okay, then how they perform their work, how they got ourselves a constitution. So on December 9, the first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held, and the first president chairman of the Constituent Assembly was temporary chairman was Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, and the meeting was just attended by 207 members out of 389. Remember it. And on December 11, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected permanent chairman, and Dr. Sachidanand Sinha was a temporary chairman based on French practice. Remember French practice, okay? And our permanent chairman is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and there are two vice presidents. The one is H.C. Mukherjee, and the another is V.T. Krishnamachari. Okay, objective resolution. Let's come to the most important part, that is objective resolution, which was moved on December 13. Remember that this is on 9, this is on 11, and this is on 13, 1946. Okay, so objective resolution gives a fundamental and philosophical part of our constitutional structure, that how our constitution is going to be like. It will give a independent, sovereign, and republic India. Okay, independent, sovereign, and republic India. And in what is India? The territories that now comprise British India and the Indian state are going to be India. Okay, and it said that it will going to give safeguard to each communities, and it will give equality of status and opportunity. Remember, in our constitution it was written equality of status and opportunity, and uh, freedom, and liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith. Okay, not freedom. Freedom is not mentioned in our preamble. So remember always that the objective resolution was adopted on January 1947, and the our preamble is modified version of it. Okay, always remember it. Then it was working between 1940 after 1946, 9 December. Then on 28 April, on 28 April, Indian Independent Act was passed. So it made some changes in our constitution body, that is in Constituent Assembly. First thing, that it make our Constituent Assembly a sovereign body. Okay, a sovereign body. And then earlier Constituent Assembly perform only constituent making function, but it changed the nature and the function of Constituent Assembly. Like Indian Independence Act changed the nature and composition. From nature, it changed from a constituent body to a legislative body who are going to make legislation and ordinary laws. And the first legislative body was chaired by G.V. Molankar. Remember? G.V. Molankar. Okay, and in composition it changed that the 389 strength of the constitution was reduced to 299, and the seats of provinces from 296 to 229, and seat from princely state 93 to 70. Along with the two function of legislation and constitution making, it also performs some other important functions also. Remember always that the national anthem and national song was adopted on 22 January 1950, but national flag was adopted earlier on July 22, 1947. Okay, and it elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India. It ratified Indian membership of Commonwealth in May 1949. Okay, the Constituent Assembly met over 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days in about 11 sessions. Okay, it examined over 60 country constitution, and it took about 114 days to draft the constitution and it cost 64 lakh. Okay, so after independence the constitution assembly held its final session. Okay, in order to perform the task of making constitution assembly has certain board committees, that these committees are assigned certain important certain important work, and to deal with different tasks of constitution making there are 8 major committees and 13 minor committees. So remember here that Jawaharlal Nehru chaired 3 committees, and provincial committees, and the committees on fundamental rights, minorities, tribal excluded area was chaired by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Remember it by provinces, like union with Jawaharlal Nehru, and province by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and fundamental right by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and drafting committee obviously Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and rule for procedure of committee obviously the one who is the chairman will lead the rules of procedure committee, that is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And the seventh committee, that is state committee, was by Jawaharlal Nehru, and steering committee by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So remember, center, union, state, Jawaharlal Nehru, and then mm, fundamental right was from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, province Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, drafting committee Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, rules for procedure Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and steering state committee Jawaharlal Nehru, and steering committee Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And there are 13 minor committee, and the most important committees is drafting committee. Okay, among all, the most important committee was drafting committee. It is set up on 29 August 1947 to prepare a draft constitution. There are 7 members in the drafting committee. Remember their name. Just go through it 2, 3, 4 times, and you will get easily remembered it. There, it is important. Then come the enactment of constitution. Before enactment, you will see here that the proposal first draft was published on February 1948, and it was given 8 months to discuss draft and propose amendment and to public. Remember, remember public comments and criticism and suggestion. And the second draft was published on October 1948. Okay, then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for enactment. Enactment means adopt. Okay, the final draft of one of the constitution in the Constituent Assembly was first reading on November 1948. Okay, it is a general discussion for about 5 days. Okay, then again the second reading, the most detailed reading, it was started from November 15, 1948 to October 17, 1949. Okay, second reading. Then there are 7,653 amendments, and the third reading was on November 14, 1949, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar moved a motion that is constitution as settled by the assembly be passed. So on November 26, 1949, we adopted ourselves a constitution. But due to a historical significance, the 26th January was chosen as a date to adopt or enforce ourselves a constitution. Okay, but on November 2015, the government of India declared that November 26 is going to be Constitution Day, because it is the date on which we adopted ourselves a constitution. Okay, then enforcement of the constitution. Okay, so before enforcement of the constitution on 26 January 1950, we have certain provisions that are already in use, that is article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that deal with citizenship, and again 324 for election commission. Okay, here I was talking about Purna Swaraj on 1929. It was declared in Lahore session about Purna Swaraj that 26 January 1930 is going to be a day of independence. So 26 January 1950 was chosen as a day to enforce ourselves constitution. Okay. Then we have expert committee of the Congress. You should go through it, like it was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Later it was chairman was Krishna Kriplani. Some of the eminent personalities mentioned like Gavin Neil Austin, that it was the Congress expert committee that set India on road to her precisement and present constitution. So it is also an important committee. Okay, in Indian National Congress that work earlier than Constituent Assembly on type of constitution that we are going to adopt. They have also prepared a draft resembling the objective resolution. And then we came to the last, that what are the criticism of the Constituent Assembly? Though it prepared a constitution that is surviving till today, and it has accommodated diversity and give rights and representation to every session, but it was criticized on this ground like it is not a representative body. Some critics believe that though that it is not elected directly, so it does not represent the people of India on the basis of universal adult franchise. It is not a sovereign body. Some critics believe that it was created on the proposal of British government, so it is not a sovereign or truly independent body. You can say it is time consuming. Some critics like Nizaruddin Ahmad called Constituent Assembly and Drafting Commission a drifting committee, like it is taking so much time. Some say that it is dominated by Congress and its members. Some say that it is a loyal politician domination, and some say that it is dominated by Hindu. Okay, there are some important facts. The symbol is of Constituent Assembly is elephant. B.N. Rao was Constitution advisor. And some more important fact that you will go through it. Here, I will suggest one thing, that if you are reading something, just go through the topics and subtopics of it. Revise it by remembering the subtopic that you have studied, and read how, if you are reading like constitution, to first think what is constitution, how the idea of constitution came, who made this constitution, how they made this constitution. Question yourself and read in this way. Okay, and there are facts which you will remember in days. It is not going to be like you are studying and you remember. It is going to take time, and it is obvious that you will get in 2 to 3 reading. Just clear your concept, the topics and the subtopics. Always remember by topics and subtopics. Okay, thank you.